Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? I think we're live. Hold on, folks. Let me check to make sure that we're live. Are we live? Hold on, folks. Let me check to make sure that we're live. And we're live! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Phantom Racing League YouTube channel here on a Thursday night for race number 9 of the Phantom Pro Series here at Bristol for the night race. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We will be racing under the half-mile Coliseum under the lights for our 9th race of the regular season here in the Phantom Pro Series. If you were here with us on Saturday, you would have watched the Phantom Pro-Am Series take action here, and that was quite of a heater of a race in its own right, with a lot of action all jam-packed into one. Looks like we're going to have ourselves a little bit more of that, and then some tonight with some of the best on the game right here tonight. Looks like we got ourselves, as usual, a pretty stacked field. About 13 entries. Of course, we got some of our regulars in the field. We'll give you a rundown on who to look out for. The point situation heading into tonight, what kind of point scenarios we could see, who to look out for, who's going to be the favorites to win tonight, and so on. So we'll give you a minute here to settle in. How's everybody doing otherwise? We're starting a little early, so give people some time to get in. And while we do that, we're going to update you on the points heading into tonight. So 8 races in the books, with our 9th ready to take place here. Elvin Priest comes into this race with a 6-point advantage over HMS Speed Clinic. Now Billy Holcomb is going to need a massive night to close in on some of those points. Luckily, it's only 6 points. If he gets some more stage points, has a good enough car to run up front, gets a better finish, he'll close that gap right back up on Elvin Priest. Now Elvin Priest going to try to protect as much as he can. He wants to maintain that points lead. He's been working on his car quite a bit throughout practice earlier today. Was a little unsure of the kind of pace he was going to have tonight, but he thinks he might have found something to get himself into contention for at least a top 5 finish. So be on the lookout for the number 42. Qualifying is still going on right now, so it'll be another minute or so once that wraps up. So, again, Elvin Priest, one to look out for. HMS Speed Clinic in the 23. Not sure what kind of car he has here at Bristol, but he's always up in the top 5, regardless of where we go to. He'll be one to look out for in the number 23. Another one on a hot streak right now, and everyone knows it so far, Showtime Flash 9, the league's most winningest driver. Coming off his 3rd of the season, he's got about a 50% win percentage in the starts he's made this season. He's got a pretty fast Bristol car. I should know I've actually raced against him at Bristol in a competitive league a few months back, and he was able to win that race. So he'll definitely be one to look out for tonight. But again, pretty stacked field, a lot of fast drivers. And one that I've noticed, probably my pick to win tonight from what I've seen in practice, if I can remember where his car is, he should be here. Number 77, Showtime Favre. Both the Showtime boys are starting tonight. Will we see them get a 1-2 finish? And Favre is going to be the one to lead the way. He's got a rocket ship under that number 77 Voyager Chevrolet. He's going to be one to look out for. Keep an eye on the 77. He'll be one to must watch. For everyone else, it's going to be makeup time as far as points go. Black Cross missed a couple races, down to 8th in the standings in that number 24. He's going to be making up some points here to close back up in the point standings. Johnny Boy, fresh off his first top 5 of the season. I know he's been putting in a lot of work on his setup for tonight, so that 41 car going to try to ride off the momentum from last week. Parley had a rough week last week, finishing outside of the top 10, losing a ton of points to Field Filler, who have swapped places with him in the standings. Field Filler now 3rd, Parley 4th. And qualifying is now over. And that is your pole sitter right there, looking right at him, Showtime Favre. Fastest lap at qualifying, a 15.360. That'll put him on the front row with his Showtime teammate, Showtime Flash, outside him in the single 7. On the outside at a 15.403. So it is a Showtime lockout on the front row. And row 2 consists of HMS Speed Clinic, and Field Filler in the 44 will roll off on his outside. Row number 5 has I Shoot in car number 8 alongside him. I'm not sure, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yes, True Death in the 3 in his 3rd race in Phantom. He's looking to right the ship. He's made a couple of bad strategy calls, according to him, the last couple of races. He's looking to get himself a better result here tonight. Want to read off the rest of the qualifying results, but I think we're ready to go. I haven't gotten any messages yet. Ed, if you're watching, you can let them know I'm ready to go. That's right, Shady. We got Ultra in the chat as well. He's rooting for Elvin. Shady, believing them Showtime boys are going to be ones to watch. I agree, for sure. We got Lord Grizzle in the 31, making, I believe, his 3rd start of the season. He will roll off in P7. I think that's his best qualifying effort so far this season. I'll let Alvin know we're ready to go. Let me pull up some of these other streams. I'm gonna have issues tonight with Google Chrome. My Google Chrome with YouTube has been running really rough as of lately. So hopefully I don't run into any buffer issues tonight. I'm gonna open up. So we got Flash's stream, we got Parley, we got Far, we got Field Filler, I got True Death. Maybe I shouldn't have too many streams up, because that's just gonna take up a lot of bandwidth. But you know what? That's just how we roll here. Here in Phantom, with me at the helm. Unfortunately, Hamlin Nation, your normal broadcaster, is not here tonight. So once again, I am in relief of him. I think he's been having some internet issues, so he's unable to go. So I will be filling in his place for tonight. Got the invites. I think the clock's still paused here. Yeah, so they haven't got the clock going yet. I already gave Alvin the ready to go, so. And everyone else in the chat, let us know who you think's gonna win tonight. Yeah, I saw Favre. I was battling him when we were having a practice session earlier. We were both side by side up at the front, and I was on the top lane. And he was able to get around me on the bottom. Like, took him a couple tries, but like once he got a run on the bottom, he pretty much cleared me, and he was gone at that point. So, and I think I have a pretty solid Bristol car myself. Granted, I'm not the best here, but knowing Favre, he's pretty quick. So. Yeah, 8 seconds. So yeah, we're about ready to head back in here. And we're ready to get ourselves some Bristol night race action. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Phantom? Cut, try it again. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Phantom Pro Series here at Bristol tonight? Because we are ready to go. We're about to light them fireworks. We got 13, 14 engines ready to fire. Thousands of horsepower rolling around this little half-mile bull ring. The last great Coliseum. One of the greatest spectacles in North American racing. In fact, all across the world. This is a track that everyone's got on their calendar. You got our cars lined up in the pits, and they're already ready to go. Green flag racing. It's a Showtime lockout on the front row with HMS Speed Clinic, Field Filler, I Shoot, and True Death. as we'll look through the rest of the field as they get themselves fired up and ready to go here. And we're already about a lap complete. And it looks like Flash is going to take the lead over from his Showtime teammate. And that is Showtime Favre in the Voyager Chevrolet number 77. But Flash is going to take control for the first 62 laps in the 62 lap stage. These guys have one pit stop required. So it'll be interesting to see when these guys will take their pit stop, whether they're going to stretch it all the way through their fuel window. Maybe some of them will try to pit halfway through. Or maybe if you're a guy like Flash, you pit at about 3 laps from now. We got Clutch in the chat. I haven't talked to him in a while. What's up, Clutch? Citron rooting for the MFF boys. Oh, we got a little bit of issues there at the back here. I was looking away. Something went wrong with HMS Speed Clinic. He's got damage on the right front. I'm going to have to look back and see what happened there. As we look through the rest of the field filler also heavy damage to that number 44 Grambling State Chevrolet. These guys are feeling the thunder early. Even iShoot's got a little bit of a fender bender. The caution waves. There's True Death in the 3. Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. There's Lord Grizzle in the 31. Also damaged. Oh, dang. I got to look back and see what happened here. Here's Parley in the HendrickCars.com number 5. Elvin Priest in the 42. He's been working on his car for the last couple hours, trying to get that thing dialed in and ready to go. Here's Rick Slick, one of our Pro-Am drivers, making up the jump for Pro tonight. I believe he's our hot seat driver for tonight. He wasn't able to race Saturday due to his schedule. Unfortunately for him, he's been able to miss a few races as a result, which is unfortunate because he has been one of the faster guys in Pro-Am. But this will be his moment to shine. He is making his first Pro start. So keep an eye on the number 99. Here's 19mm. Longtime driver and Phantom in this number 78 Ford. Black Cross in the 24 Exalta Chevrolet. There's old Johnny Boy in the 41. He's made every single race this season. And the race off pit road. It's a dead heat between the Showtime boys. And Flash is going to settle that dispute. He will take charge back from the 77 of Favre now. That is 19mm in that number 78 on the second row. I think we're going to be ready to go here. Not sure because not everyone's caught up yet. So while they do that, I'm going to go back and see what caused the caution. It looked like Billy cut away as it happened, but it looked like Billy's car just got loose out of frame and it bunched everybody up. And I think that's what Shady either helped or got loose. I think it got loose. But we rack them up. We're going back to green here at Bristol. Flash elected to restart from the inside lane. Favre fighting back up top. Everyone getting a hitch onto that conveyor belt on the top lane. That's one of the fastest ways to get around here. You're going to have a really good car to make any sort of passing on that bottom, or anywhere for that matter. This is one of the toughest places to make a pass, even if you have the fastest car in the field. Black Cross now up to third, 19mm fourth. Johnny Boy and Elvin side by side for a top 5 position. Now one thing to keep an eye on, this number 41, I've talked to him an hour before the race. He's at a little bit of a fuel disadvantage with his gearing. So he's probably burning about 2 or 3 more laps compared to the rest of the field, and that's really going to hurt him in stage 2, because stage 2 is a shorter stage, about 56, 57 laps, and there's no pit requirements. Granted, meaning everyone is going to stretch that stage all the way through. Johnny a little uncertain if he's able to do that. That's going to be a storyline we're going to be keeping an eye on once that second stage comes around. But right now, he's hanging solidly tough in the top 5, holding off the 5 of Parley, who's getting around Elvin Priest. True Death behind him. There's Lord Grizzle, the 31, hitting the outside wall. Further back, they're 3 wide, trying to get that skirmish settled. Let's get to this mess back here. Rick Slick in the 99s fighting a loose car right back here. Now Billy Holcomb trying to make up lost ground. The 23 look. Oh, Black Cross into the wall right in front of the 78, the 41. Everyone's going to tag along and get by this 24. 19mm. Let's get to him in a quick second. This 78 car is shining bright tonight. That 78 is up to third place. And looks like he has a pretty strong car early on. And now that he is broken free from the Hornet's Nest, maybe it's a time for his car to stretch its legs and catch those Showtime guys up at the front. Johnny Boy in trouble. 41 to the inside. Merges back up onto the concrete. No trouble there. And that's the tricky thing with Bristol. There's a lot of tricky things about this track, not just on the track, but even in the broadcast booth. I'm going to have a hard time keeping up with everything that's going on. Grizzle into the wall again. I shooting Rick Slick. Still trying to fight this battle out here. And that's I Shoot FRR in this number 8 Chevrolet, trying to get around Rick Slick in the 99. With Lord Grizzle in his sights, and you see that 78 pulling away. And that shows you just how good of a car he has. He is running strongly in this third spot right now. Rick and Field Filler battling further back. Trying to race as hard as they can without making too much contact. That's very difficult to do. Elvin in 6, trying to hold off True Death, who's trying to get his car to rotate around the middle groove. And there's Speed Clinic getting around the 31. Ooh, Elvin and Parley. A little bit of a toe touch and a hip check. The 2-for-1 special down the straightaway. This car's getting really antsy. Grizzle with the send. Package sent and delivered. And luckily for him, that package got a return address because he just went back to where he was. Really not having too much of that. True Death looking to the inside of Black Cross. Contact made. And there's going to be a lot of that. Here at such a tight racetrack like Bristol, there's going to be a lot of close fenders. A lot of apologies, a lot of non-apologies across the entire field. Everyone's just going to have to get comfortable with that. There's going to be a lot of touching. There's going to be a lot of invading everyone's personal spaces. That fourth on back has been exchanging the spots constantly as Black Cross has lost a couple of spots throughout this run. Parley now up into fourth. Elvin into the wall. Ping pongs off the 23 as he tries to get his car settled back in line. Right in the middle of this Hornet's Nest. Not everyone, nobody giving an inch off each other. Grizzle still fighting I Shoot on the outside. This might be the toughest race I've ever had to broadcast. Everything's just happening so quickly that I'm going to have a hard time keeping up. Now, you can see the Showtime boys. That's your first and second cars on track. Pretty much in a league of their own as they have checked out from literally everybody else here in stage 1. That's putting everyone else on high alert. Saying, okay, we got a lot of work in front of us here if we want to contend with those guys. We still got 2 stages left to work on those cars, get them up to snuff to keep up with our leaders. So we get a lap count here. Come on, YouTube, stop buffering on me. We're pretty much at the halfway point, 31 of 62. Now, Parley and True Death are fighting for 4th place. Rick Slick trying to get around I Shoot in the 8. Black Cross getting passed by the 42 of Elvin as he's continuing to sink back. Rick gets loose again, and he will drop to the caboose of this train. I Shoot. Now, this is, we're getting to that point in the run where these cars are going to be going through changes, different phases throughout the run. Especially towards the tail end of the run, we're going to be seeing whose cars are equipped for the long run and who's going to be shredding that right rear part and basically driving on ice skates. So who's got a long run car and who doesn't? Billy's got a little bit of breathing room. He can try to run these guys down. 19mm. His car might be reaching its end of the run as Parley has ran him down in this number 5. Ooh, different lines. 19 getting tight. Parley searching for an open path to get around this 78 for 3rd place. As True Death has finally cracked the top 5 here in Phantom. He looks like he's got a pretty strong car here tonight in this number 3 Bass Pro Shop Chevy. So far, 37 laps in, nobody's going for the short pit. Showtime guys are off to a healthy lead. 19. Still holding off 3rd place. From Parley, True Death, and soon to be everybody else if Billy and Elvin can run them down. But my computer just went off. Black Cross probably might be one of the cars that's got a lot of work ahead of them. He's dropped the anchor on this 24. He has fallen back to about, looks like 10th place, I believe. At the tail end of the top 10 and soon to be out of it if this 8 car can get around him. There's Johnny Boy. He seems to have made a little bit of a recovery. He's caught up to the 31 for position and trying to find a way around him. Elvin trying to do the same with Billy ahead of this duo. Farv and Flash, neither one of them are in a hurry to race each other. They're pretty much content riding along, working together, holding hands. As the Showtime teammates are pretty much off on a little cruise here. A little Sunday drive. As the battle for 3rd is heating up, field filler. And that 44 to the inside. I think that was just a pass for position. Now Parley, speaking of pass for position, him and True Death are completing that now on the 78. Parley now takes over 3rd. True Death takes over 4th. 19mm car seems to be falling off a cliff here late in the long run. Billy and Elvin are closing in fast. 41 to the inside of the apron. I think he might be pitting early. No, he's not. He just got loose. There's the 31 doing the same thing. All right, let's try to look around here, see if anyone's pitted yet. Still no. Let's try to ride with Elvin Priest for now, who currently rides in P7, now P6. Billy gets loose and the seas parted for the 42. And look at all this, look at the gap he's closing in on the 5 and the 3, who are now starting to get racy with each other. Here's Rick in the 99. Closing in on field filler who gets loose. 78 trying to hang on to with what looked like a car fired off really well, and it's just trying to hang on for dear life with those tires. Actually, now that I think about it, I mentioned the fuel run, but because we had that caution, 8 and the 24, a little too close for comfort. Because we had that caution early on, that might have changed the strategy in stage 1. I completely forgot about that. These guys might be taking it to the finish because of that caution. Let me check Flash's fuel numbers. He's 1 lap to the good. And Flash is a guy that's running a 2-gear setup on his car. Here's Black Cross, hoping for this stage to be over. There's Flash in this number 7 car, trailing our leader Showtime Favre. That 7 car is running a 2-gear setup. I wonder if the 77's doing the same thing. It's not often where these cars are only having to use 2 of their gears. Let's get to this pack right here. Parley, True Death, that's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th right there in frame. as we're getting close to about 10 laps to go in stage number 1. And Showtime pretty much has it on lockdown with both of their cars running up at the front and long gone from everybody else. If it keeps up for the rest of the race, it's pretty much just going to be a battle for third right here, as far as the rest of the field is concerned. Parley has it now. True Death hanging tough in fourth. He's running a little lower here through 1 and 2, trying to get around the 5. Let's look at Favre. He's running a 2-gear setup as well. Running through second gear. True Death peaking low. Looks like 1-9's car hasn't fallen off as much as I worried. He's hanging tough in 5th. Oh, we got a car around. That looks like the 8 of iShoot, parked on the inside lane. It looks like he looped it around. He's got it refired. As we're getting close to the end of the first stage here at Bristol under the lights, Parley fighting hard to defend the 3. Both those cars trying to search around, trying to run different lines. 1-9 trying to rim ride there. Same with Billy in the 23. I think that's Johnny in the 41 behind him. Let's get to him. Yeah, the 41 car. Again, I mentioned him earlier. Hopefully he has enough fuel to make it. 42. Getting loose. The 3 car down to the blacktop there on the inside. Washes back up in front of the 78. Who gets pitted? Oh no! Talk about wrong place, wrong time. Bounced off the bumper of True Death, who had got into the wall. Sent his car careening down to the pit entry with no chance to correct. And what looked like a great race for the 78 is going to turn into a long night of recovery if he can. That's going to put him at least 2 laps down. 2 at the very, very least. Here's Black Cross fighting the 31 of Lord Grizzle for position. I think this might be for either 8th or 9th. Let's get back to the Showtime duo, who have just put stage 1 in the books. And your stage 1 winner, you're looking at him, Showtime Favre. I say he'd be a favorite to win tonight, and it shows. Both the Showtime cars have rocket ships, with Favre finishing out ahead of Flash. Then Parley, Elvin, True Death, your top 5. And F's in the chat for 19mm, who looked like he had a 5th or 6th finish in the bag and had a really strong car to contend for a top 5 finish tonight, is now 2 laps down after an incident with True Death put him in the pits. And worse news for him, because of iShoot's wreck, 19 won't get the lap back. It's going to go to the 8 car because of his spin earlier. So talk about a major, major setback. Oh, I hate to see it. Anyway, rack him up, ready to go. Green flag racing here at Bristol. I'm going to step aside for a quick minute here. We're going to set him up with a crank it up. Hello, what happened to Favre? Johnny Boy's into the wall and Favre is in the pits. Stage 2. Oh, what had happened? Now Flash is left all alone up in the front without a dancing partner. He's got the rest of the pack behind him, starting with Parley in the 5, who is hounding his rear bumper and hounding him fast. He is peeking down to the inside, trying to make the most out of that middle groove. We'll keep an eye on that 77, who looks like he did not get a speeding penalty. I don't know what happened. This is an interesting strategy call. Considering it's stage 2, there are no pits required. Unless he believes he doesn't have enough fuel to last the whole run. It's a 58 lap run. This is interesting, and I'm a little confused. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that. But for now, right now it's not looking too good. Oh, I see what happened here. So not planned. In an interesting moment, Showtime Favre, let's get to him now. Our stage 1 winner now behind the 8 ball. Accidentally put it down into first gear. And that sent his car sideways. But lucky break for him, he got the car slowed down enough to where it met pit road speed. So that is a huge save for the 77, if true. Still a major setback. I want to say that puts him at least 1, maybe 2 laps down. But interestingly enough, he decided to take tires. I wonder if... I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe he just forgot to not take them. Because the tires should be able to last the whole stage. If I were Favre, I would have just not taken anything, saved myself a little bit of time. So at least 13 laps into the books in stage 2, it is Showtime Flash, who now takes control of the race. Parley taking control of the wall, and he bounces off it pretty good. That's moved everyone else up a spot from Favre's mishap. Parley now finds himself in P2. FR True Death has now clinched a podium spot right now in 3rd. HMS Speed Clinic now up into 4th place. Elvin Freest cracking the top 5 tonight. And the racing much, much closer up front. Even Field Fillers made a big recovery here in the second stage. He was closer toward the tail of the pack. He has now found himself up into 6th place, with Lord Grizzle in the 31 now up into 7th. As he's starting to shine here in the middle of this run. Parley tagging the wall again. True Death trying to find a way around him in that number 3. Let's get to that FR Chevrolet now. True Death in the Tracker Bass Pro Shop Chevy. It's so difficult to make a pass on the bottom. And this is what happens if you can't make it work. Everyone's just going to gang up on you on the outside. At least Billy tried to. True Death clears himself, and he's going to protect the spot for now. But Parley's going to open up a little bit of a gap. He's opened up at least 1 car length on the 3. But luckily for all these guys, Showtime Flash doesn't seem to be pulling away as of right now. The racing being much closer up at the front this time around. We'll get an update on the 77 here for a quick moment. He's racing to get himself back up through the pack, trying to get his lap back. Passing some of the lead lap cars. There's 19mm who finds himself 2 laps down. I Shoot was the lucky dog car under the stage break. He's back on the lead lap in that 8 car. And here's the battle up at the front. As there isn't really much one right now. Everyone's just kind of riding out the second stage a little bit calmer. Everyone knows that there's no pit requirement, so they're going to try to stretch their fuel window throughout the entire stage. Some of these cars should be able to make it through easily. But we'll see if anyone else has to save a little bit, if that's a concern. Hardly fighting hard for that lead right now. See if there's any other battles going on throughout the pack. Again, we mentioned ice shoot in the 8 car. Loose car late in the run set him a lap down, but he's got it back now. And you got the entire top 7 cars under a blanket. The 31 at Grizzle now up into 6th place. Let's talk about this 31 car, as he's probably not getting much of the attention here in Phantom. This is his 3rd start, a newer guy. Haven't seen much of this 31 car. I'm not sure what he's been able to bring to the table, but tonight he's showing it. Strong car that he has so far. This 31 Chevy up into 6th, knocking on the door of a top 5 spot. Elvin's standing in the way of that right now as he's trying to find a way around it. Running a much different line than the top 5 is. Everyone's kind of running the top throughout. He lets his car swing out and just cut back down off of exit. It seems to be working for him as Billy tags the wall just a smidge. Harley still knocking. Favre is still charging. That 77 is hungry to get back on the lead lap. As it's a little bit more spread out at the back. That was a little bit easier task for Favre, but now he's catching up to this front pack that is completely closed in onto each other. It's the top 7 cars under a blanket. So this won't be as easy for him. He'll be our onboard for now to see what's going on here up at the front. As Showtime Flash, he's given himself some breathing room over Parley and True Death. That's now up to about 3 car lengths over the 5. As we're close to about halfway, I think we're at halfway of this 2nd stage. Flash still running in the 15-second bracket at this point in the run. We're getting close to where some of these guys will start to slip down to 16 seconds. But if your car can still be able to hit in the 15.9s, 15.8s at this point in the run, you got a pretty fast car. Favre's definitely doing that with the much fresher tires that he has in his pocket. As he's closed in on Field Filler and Lord Grizzle in the 31. Still trying to find a way around Elvin to get himself in the top 5. Anyway, back to the lead. You see that gap? That advantage the 7 car has gained over Parley and True Death. And he's looking to continue to extend it. We saw just how fast this car is, even in the long run. Now Parley looks like he's got a pretty strong long run car as well. And we saw that when he ran down 1.9 in a heartbeat. But at this point, around 30 lap-ish, it's starting to slip from him. But I think once we get to the tail end, maybe we'll see it swing back in his favor. These runs are so long. The cars go through so many changes. It could start off tight, get free, then loose. It could get all sorts of different directions in just the span of about 10 laps, let alone 55 plus. Grizzle's got Favre, a mirror full of them in fact. I still am not sure how many laps down the 77 is. I think he's going to let the 77 go. He's aware of the situation he's in and is not going to fight it any further. And he's just going to let Favre go. It's a very smart decision by Grizzle, as Favre is continuing on his mission. Now here's Elvin and Billy, who are battling each other again in this stage. This time for 4th place, as Billy's car wiggled a little bit right in front of Elvin. Might have been a little bit of contact. True Death is around and into the wall. And look at all the time lost from 3rd place. Oh, and it's just going to get worse. He's going to drop all the way to the tail end of the line. And that is a top 3 spot for True Death gone, unless he can make up for it in this final stage. Flash is checked out now as we're getting close to the end of stage 2. About 16 to go. It should be 15 this time, I think. I don't know how much of a delay the stream is. The laps are so fast here that it's going to be a really difficult time to keep tabs on a lap count. So it'll be 14 to go this time by. Parley second, Billy third, Elvin fourth. And Lord Grizzle slips himself into the top 5 as Favre is still trying to find a way to get his lap back. He needs to get around these other cars, and he's probably getting into contact with his teammate and say, hey, do me a favor, why don't you? If he gets clear of this 5 car, the 7 car probably might slow up and let him go. Now, does the 7 do that? Knowing that they're teammates, but that's one less guy to worry about as far as competition goes. These guys are competitors after all. They're racing each other. Like, how much leeway is Flash willing to give his teammate here if Favre gets himself in the position to do so? As we're getting close, 12 to go, 11 to go, somewhere around there. Favre still has not gotten around the 42 of Elvin. I think his tires are finally starting to even out with these guys. That's becoming a little bit more difficult to pass. But it's not going to stop him from trying. Elvin's going to let him go. He's got to run there. He got even with them off exit, and it's just going to... That's 1 down. He's got 2 more to go. Billy getting close to the wall. You could fit a piece of paper. Never mind. That paper got crushed as he hits it off the exit that time. Favre's going to clear the 23. And now here comes Favre onto Parley. How aggressive is he going to get with this 5 car? He's going to keep the nose there. It's going to keep that 5 car guessing. That's for sure. Even if he doesn't have a run, just having that nose there on the inside is going to have that car on the outside thinking twice before making a move. He's even with them now. He's door, bumper, not quite clear yet. The 5 cars fighting back on the outside. Is now that train is starting to line up on the outside with Billy and Elvin. Favre still trying to clear the 5. Again, if you're just tuning in, Showtime Flash, that's that 7 car you just saw pop out of frame. He is the leader. Parley's into the wall. He was second. Now it's Billy Holcomb in the 23. He's now second place. The 77 car is now at least 1 lap down. He's trying to clear these guys so he can get one of his laps back. As we get a lap count, 5 to go. And it should be 4 to go this time by Showtime Flash. A little too far ahead from the rest of this pack. I'm going to have to ask Race Control to send him to the post-race inspection tent to do a full teardown on that 7 car. It's a little too fast for the rest of the pack to handle. As, oh, Billy in the wall again. Elvin's going to take over second now, as second place has exchanged hands multiple times these last 5 laps. Parley had it. He's now slipping back. Billy took it from him. He hits the wall, and now Elvin finds himself in P2. 3 wide at the back. Grizzle, Black Cross in the middle. Man, I am not sure. Is this stage over yet? I don't know. I don't think it is. That was just some hard racing gone wrong for some of those guys. We'll have to break that down. And yet, there it is. I called it. Right there. Flash, being a gentleman and a teammate, is going to let Favre get his lap back. And the lucky dog should let him get his other one if he needs it. And that puts Showtime Favre back in the hunt. And here is your Stage 2 winner. Both the Showtimes 1 stage win up. Favre got the first one. Flash gets the second one. And it's no contest. He was able to check out from the rest of the pack. No debate left on the table. He was by far the fastest car in this stage, apart from Favre, who fought his way back after a very near fatal mishap. Now, I don't know exactly how many laps down that 77 is, and whether or not he's even the lucky dog recipient, because we still got 19mm, I think, in the 78, who I'm not sure what lap he's on. Get to him. He had a moment. Kind of a similar situation where he got onto pit road without wanting to. That cost him. But we have a bit of a change up at the front to start this final stage. Elvin Priest will assume the lead, but for how long? That 7 car, he's going to let him go for now, but we saw how fast that 7 car is on the long run. But Elvin's going to assume himself leader of the race starting this final stage. Field filler, Black Cross, True Death running 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Lord Grizzle 6th. Then Johnny Boy 7th. I Shoot 8th. 9th is still up for debate, but it looks like Billy Holcomb's going to hold off Parley for that spot. And there's Showtime Favre, who I still need confirmation whether or not he's on the lead lap or not. He's not. He's still 1 lap down. But he is in lucky dog position. How much would it ask for him to get a caution? Billy struggling even more as he hits the wall again. I think there's a magnet on the right side of this 23. He's hit it a lot. Battle up at the front. Flash inside of Elvin for the lead. Door to door, dead even at the straightaway into the turn. Barrels it deep down low. He's got the rotation on the bottom to keep it even with that 42. There's Fieldfield in the 44 up into 3rd place. Grizzles into the wall, checking up the rest of the line. Everyone's going to get around him, but the 31's going to slip back. And probably quite a bit of right front damage done to that 31 leaf filter Chevrolet. 77 is 1 lap down. That is correct. Now, how hard does he fight to try to get himself back on the lead lap the hard way? Elvin still fighting and fighting really hard to stay even with Flash. But Field Filler sees where the speed is. He knows how fast that 7 car is. He's going to try to go with them on the bottom. As he doesn't seem to think that 42 is going to get anywhere up top. But nothing can be really done. It's so hard to pass on the inside as the 44 is just going to slip back in line in 3rd place. Let's get back to Favre here. Battling Johnny Boy, who is now up into 6th place. That's True Death in 5th. Black Cross, looks like he finally got his car dial in. Let's get to this 24. He's been struggling quite a bit these first 2 stages, running towards the tail end of the pack. The stages didn't quite go his way, whether it's by circumstance or just the car not where he liked. But he seems to have got it figured out now and stayed out of trouble. He's kept his nose clean. That Exalta nose is staying fresh as that paint scheme is. And he is now up into 4th place in the closing laps. By closing, there's still about over 100 of these puppies left. There's a lot of laps to tick off here at Bristol. But because it's Bristol, it's all going to go by in a flash. And speaking of flash, that is Showtime Flash. You've already figured it out by now. He's still leading this race, and he's about to pull away here. No contest. Now these guys, oh, Field Filler around and into the inside wall very, very hard. Let's get to that 44 now, and a massive collision. And a single car instant's gonna keep this baby green, and that is not what Field Filler wanted to see. That might be race done for him. Now Elvin, clearly in second. Looked like him and Field Filler might have made contact. I'm not entirely sure what happened between the two of them. Knowing how close things can get here. There's Favre trying to get around this 3 car. It looked like Elvin's car, coming off corner exit, got a little tight and was in the process of slightly bouncing off that outside wall, and that 44 just got a little too close to the light. He was also tight off exit and just went right where the 42 was. And that was enough to ping pong his car the wrong way. The dreaded ping pong effect in NASCAR heat, it never ever goes away, unfortunately. It's a scary thing to make contact with another car on this game. You pretty much die if you try to do so. Favre trying to make way with True Death on the outside this time, and True Death's going to let him have it here. Not without a little bit of a fight. Yeah, Favre's going to get him here. Again, Favre's still a lap down, trying to get his lap back. After a mistake in stage 2 put him multiple laps down and into the pits. And let's take a look at the front end of Bristol's car. Not too much damage, but he hit the wall pretty good to where it sent him all the way to the tail end, as he's battling our Pro-Am driver, Rick Slick. And the 31 has slowed down. He's going to make a pit stop early. It'll be his first stop. Now this final stage. Oh, we got a crash. Turn 1. I shoot and Parley both around into the turn, and that could be a caution. And if so, that is exactly what the 77 might have been looking for. They're still racing. I don't see the caution being called yet. The 99 is on pit road. His race might be over. And there it is. The caution waved. And Showtime Favre is now officially back into this race, as he should be the lucky dog recipient here. I wonder what that's going to do with pit stops. These guys are required to take 2 in this stage. And I think the 1 should still count with it being under caution, so we'll keep an eye on these guys here. Let's get to our leader. As the pits aren't open yet, Favre's going to get his lap back. In the meantime, while these guys pit, I want to thank everyone for tuning into tonight's Phantom Pro Series action here at Bristol. Especially want to thank all of our sponsors that have been supporting the Phantom Pro Series YouTube channel. Starting with Everything NASCAR, who I saw pop into the chat. He's here, and he's been a long supporter of this series, so shout out to him. Shout out to MFF Motorsports. Shout out to Chris's Auto/Towing LLC. Firelinks Racing Network, the Super Squad, Everything Stop Motion Network, and also the FTR Racing League, the North American Racing Series, which I may or may not be racing tomorrow in that. Check into that. Shady Acres is the broadcaster for that series. Again, that's the North American Racing Series on YouTube. So check them out. Same with FTR Racing League. That's Billy Holcomb's league. Check them out. And MinaPeach.com. That's Intletown's company. Intletown not in the booth tonight. He knows the promo code. I don't. So you could probably watch back on one of the old streams. He'll tell you what the promo code is. I don't remember what it is. It's somewhere if you want to get whatever, you know. So, and also my apologies if I've been messing up or sounding a little off. I came back from the dentist yesterday, so I got my wires are out, so I'm talking a little funny. It's not because I had a stroke. It's because my teeth are all funny because of the brackets. I still have braces. I've had them for way too long. I can't wait to get them out. But things changing here up at the front. Elvin Priest, his 42 car, assumes the race lead again. He's beaten that 7 car off pit road. Same with the 24 Black Cross, who will restart on the outside of the front row. Now Favre, because he's back in the lead lap, he's going to start from the tail of the longest line. But seeing how fast his car is, he'll be back up here in pretty much no time. Now, these guys are getting through 3 and 4. Rick Slick's car is officially out of the race, and that is very unfortunate for the guy from the Pro-Am Series on Saturdays making his Pro Series debut. Didn't quite have the night he was looking for. Anyway, we're back to green. We'll get a lap count here shortly. Coming to green, 91 laps remaining here up until the end of this race. Elvin got a great restart. He's going to be able to separate himself from the rest of this field as Black Cross ping-pongs off the outside wall right in front of the 7. Who's going to clear by him for second place. Johnny Boy's going to fight down and fight hard on the inside. That's for third. That 41 fighting hard. But he's getting a little bit loose. He's going to get ganged up on the outside. Billy Holcomb in the 23. There's True Death, Parley. Owen Field Filler getting hip checked again. There's Favre the 77 up at the tail. Trying to make the most of this opportunity he so desperately needed. Now Elvin and Flash first and second. It'll be a matter of time once that 7 car runs him down. Unless that 42's got it dialed in to the point where he can be even with the 7. It'll be hard to tell for now. Matter of fact, the 7 car might already be there. Let's get to the 23 of HMS Speed Clinic, running in 4th place. Trying to trace down to the inside of the 24 for 3rd. And there's a bit of a sense of urgency if you're a guy like Speed Clinic, because you see the top 2 cars starting to scoot away from everybody. It's hard to be patient with the competition around you, even if the 24 is just as fast as you are. You see those top 2 cars starting to pull away. If you're Billy or someone else behind him, there's a bit of sense of urgency that, like, hey, I gotta go. These guys are getting away. I can't stay back here for much longer. And that battle up at the front, heating up fast. Showtime Flash for the lead once again. The only thing standing in the way is Elvin Priest trying to go for his 2nd win in this series. Flash trying to go for number 4 on the year. And he's got the horsepower to do so. He's just got to get around this 42 car. But the 42 car, if you're Elvin Priest, you are defending like hell. Make sure the 7 car doesn't have a breath of fresh air. Too late, he's there now. He is seeing the daylight inside for the lead. Oh, and how close can you get? As they're getting really close to each other there into the turns. Johnny Boy hitting the outside wall behind them. Flash gonna continue to fight. All Elvin can really do is just run his line. Counter those attacks from the top rope, and he's doing that now. That's the preferred line around here. But if you can make that bottom work, and Flash is probably one of the few people in this field that can make a pass on the bottom. And this is huge for Elvin because he did not look like he had a good enough car in practice to run up here up in the top 5, let alone at the front. And he has made some changes to that car and even his driving approach to this track. And it's not only benefited him, it's even got him battling Showtime Flash for the lead and staying even with him. And with this battle back here, you got Black Cross in the 24 closing in on these guys. Let's get to the 24, who now finds himself in 3rd once again. There was a bit of separation once Black Cross and HMS Speed Clinic were running 3rd and 4th, but once those guys got side by side, got him on the hook, he started reeling them back in. That 24 definitely has done so. But now they gotten even again. Never mind, Flash back to the bottom. Going for another inside maneuver. Now Billy's going to try to go for one of his own. Never mind, he got loose. That's going to give Blackcross a little bit of breathing room. True Death and Parley get together. As Parley tags the wall again, he's having a bit of a rough night. Flash and Elvin didn't give him any breathing room that time, and Elvin's going to tag the wall. Flash is going to say bye-bye, good night. He's back in lead. Elvin probably not too happy with that. Probably a racing deal, but Flash was getting very impatient. Seeing that 24 car, and matter of fact, everybody closing in on those two, and Flash decided enough was enough and decided to keep it in the gas regardless of what was going to happen. Elvin wasn't willing to back down. He was going to fight tooth and nail to protect that lead, and Billy in the wall again. It's checking up the 3 of True Death, trying to go for his first top 5 finish in this league, and he's been having his best race of the season so far. There's Showtime Favre in the 77 machine. Ever since he got his lap back, he is kind of stalled out in the middle of this pack. He doesn't really seem to have any advantages left to make the most of it, as he finds himself in 7th. Now, I should recall, the last time we saw Flash and Elvin battling for the lead was at Pocono a couple of weeks ago. Elvin's first career Phantom win was on the line, and he gave him a little bit of a bumper tap in turn 2, sending Flash into the wall. Nothing more than a racing deal. They didn't seem to mind it. Flash gave his congratulations to Elvin afterwards, since that was Elvin's first win in this league. Could that have been Showtime Flash paying back the favor? Now these guys are even. What does Elvin think? Maybe it was another racing deal. Maybe I'm being over dramatic. Maybe these guys are yelling at each other over the radio. Who the hell knows? Bristol is the kind of track that will just piss you off. We've seen tempers flare at this track many a times throughout the past, and we're going to continue to see it throughout the future. There were definitely some hurt feelings in Saturday's race. I know that for a fact. Because there was a little bit of, I mean, that's just going to happen. It's part of Bristol. We get guys rubbing into each other, hitting each other on a track that's only so big enough for some amount of cars to make work, and once they make a little bit of contact, it just all goes haywire. Now there's a little bit of contact there, but everything seems to be fine. Favre deciding now is the time to try to make a pass on the inside on Parley for 6th. Only problem, True Death's trying to do the same thing. That's going to back him up a little bit. Now these guys still have one more pit stop left to make in this final stage, as True Death is in 8th right now, losing this pack. He's got a little bit of front end damage that might have been from earlier, I'm not sure. I Shoot was part of that caution. Him and Parley getting together, I don't know exactly how that caused, but Parley seems to have made a better recovery than this 8 car has. 78 of 19mm. Not having the race he was looking for, especially how strong this 78 car looked early on. Found himself running inside the top 3. Had a strong enough car to go to the front for most of that run, and got himself into a bit of trouble that sent his car spinning into the pits with no chance at recovery. And that was pretty much race over for him. Oh, Field Filler and Johnny get together! Field Filler's night goes from bad to worse as his car sent back to the outside wall. And even more damage is done to that 44 Chevy. Favre and Parley still fighting it out for 6th, as he's yet to clear this number 5. They need to settle this out because they're going to let these guys get away if they don't do so sooner. Parley had the advantage that time on the outside, had a really strong run to close the door on Favre, and he does that time. I think Favre realized the situation. If he tried to keep it down there, that would have just made things a little worse. So give it back, try to regather and give it another attempt later on, and that later on might come sooner rather than later. Matter of fact, it's coming now. Giving a nose peek, opening the door, seeing if anybody's home. Right now, Parley's keeping that door locked shut. Remember, this is for 6th place. True Death loose! And the heads up driving for Favre going down to the inside. He's going to probably finally clear this 5 car, and they're still side by side. We're getting close to the end of the run. We should be at about 50 to go. And Favre is going to be the first taker onto pit road. Showtime Flash extending his lead over Elvin Priest, who runs himself in 2nd place. Black Cross still holding on to 3rd. Parley trying to hang onto the wheel as he's loose again in that 5 car. Him and Johnny are both pitting this time. See if anyone else is coming onto pit road yet. So far it's just these guys, it looks like. I see another car on pit road, and that's the 31 of Lord Grizzle. Keep it on, never mind. Favre's coming out of the pits now. So that'll give him the chance to undercut the pack that he was racing against, and it'll give him the best finish he can possibly get here. As we are now officially south of 50 to go. Still got a long way left in this race. A lot can still happen. A lot of these cars still need to make their final pit stop. Looks like the 31 is going to make another stop here. 44 now onto pit road. We saw Johnny Boy and Parley pit together there, running nose to tail again. Fuel filler going to fix the damage on his car, as he's just looking to get through tonight in one piece. Here's True Death in the 3 car, looking to capture his first top 5 finish in the Phantom Pro Series. He's doing so right now in P4. He still needs to make one more pit stop. There's still mistakes that can be made. There's still outside factors that could affect his race to prevent that from happening. But right now, if he keeps running the race that he's running, he will get a strong finish and a strong points-paying night to move himself up the point standings, considering he had started the season a little later. He's committed to run all the races, but he joined a little late, so that puts him at a little bit behind in the point standings. And to make matters worse, he had some rough finishes to start with in his first 2 starts, and he's looking to ride the tide or right the ship, as Favre is trying to make do with the fresh tires that he's got now. Same with the 44 field filler, who's getting around Elvin. A little too close for comfort for those 2 cars there. Eye shoots on pit road. There's the 23 of HMS Speed Clinic on pit road now. Up, and the leaders are now in. Our top three all pitting at the same time. Nobody trying to outthink the other or try to pull anything different. It's the top three cars pitting at the exact same time. So no chance at trying to do any sort of different strategy. Either from Elvin or Blackcross trying to undercut the 7. And to make matters worse, Showtime Flash having a perfect pit stop, a 15 flat. That's about the fastest pit stop you could possibly have. A 4-tire stop as far as this game goes. In the normal NASCAR world, a 15-second stop would be dog shit slow, but not on NASCAR Heat. That's about the fastest 4-tire stop you could possibly have, and the 7 car just gave himself that. I swear I'm not having a stroke, I promise. It's Flash and Harley and Johnny Boy. That's going to be for position. Those guys pitted much earlier. Let's get to the 42 and the 24. So the 7's on the back straightaway now. Yeah, he's... whatever advantage that Showtime Flash had gained on Elvin, he just gained even more of it on that pit stop alone. And here's the 77 of Favre, who had, I think, was the first car to pit under this cycle. He, I believe, finds himself in the race lead. Let me just double check. And yeah, that is official. After the night that this 77 car has had, clawing, fighting tooth and nail, after the stage 2 mishap, getting himself multiple laps down, having everything, all the dominoes falling in his direction to get himself the opportunity to get himself back up at the front, and he's done so. But here comes his teammate on much fresher rubber. And the two are not going to waste much time. Oh, hold on, he's still on the outside. And Flash clears him that time. So now, things are back on schedule with Flash up at the front. So this is basically Showtime Favre trying to get the best possible finish he can, or at least put himself in position in case we get another caution, to get himself back up the front. So he's got the track position now, which is very important at a track like this, and it shows with Parley and Johnny Boy. Parley finds himself in 3rd now with the early pit stop. Johnny Boy in 5th. Elvin Priest, fresher tires on the bottom. And he's going to put him to good use here. Put him to good use he does. Inside cleared. 42 car back into the podium places. And that's going to be enough of a cushion now that 5 car. Not much of a fight between him and Blackcross. Oh, Blackcross clears him a little sooner than Elvin probably expected. But it doesn't seem like Blackcross had much of a fight for that 42. Maybe he made some changes under that pit stop. And Blackcross can try to challenge for that podium spot and get himself in the booth post-race. "24 laps remaining here at the last great Coliseum." There's Field Filler in the 44, who is toughing it out, not having the best race. He's had a bit of bad luck here in this final stage to get himself back here, and he's looking to get lapped. He's going to let the 7 car go by, as he's just clocking in the laps and just ready to clock out and head home, as some of these guys probably are as well. He's not the only one. The 78 car I mentioned earlier top 3 car in stage 1. Had a moment where he checked up, spun down to the apron, spun onto pit road, losing multiple laps and just could never recover from it. Harley and Johnny Boy trying to hang on. Those older tires can only last them so long. There's True Death in the 3. That's going to be for, I believe, 7th place? Yeah, that is for 7th. True Death's going to clear him here. And there is that 3 car of True Death. Finds himself outside of the top 5 right now. Harley's the gatekeeper for 6th place. True Death on fresher tires, trying to make a run for a top 5 finish. He's got quite a distance between him and Billy. That 23 McDonald's Toyota has that top 5 spot. True Death gonna use up all that rubber on the inside. And we'll clear him now. And Bristol, who looked like was going to break through tonight, got himself the top 5 for a brief minute. Had an issue late, got himself into the wall, and he's trying to get himself the best finish he can. As the leader is getting bigger in his mirror, he's about to go a lap down here pretty soon. At the pace that Flash is currently running. But now 2nd place is up for jeopardy. Showtime Favre, mentioned earlier, pitted the earliest out of all the lead lap cars. His rubber is much older than everybody else around him. As we got about 14 laps to go, it should be pretty soon that this 42 is going to find himself around and clearing the 77. How much of a fight does Showtime Favre put up? Can he get himself to hold off these two and get himself onto the podium and back into the booth? The battle for 2nd heats up. Elvin leaning on his quarter panel, and he's going to get into the wall. Elvin on the other end of it this time, but Favre's going to fight back. Slips to 3rd, but Blackcross nearly used him up even more than Elvin did through the middle. Now Favre's just going to hang on to a top 5 spot if he can. So now that's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there in frame. And Grizzle officially got lapped by our leader Showtime Flash. Elvin and Blackcross, that battle is heating up again. Those two have been nose to tail earlier, but Blackcross didn't quite seem to have anything for this 42 Chevrolet until now. Inside, this is for 2nd place. Favre staying even with these guys despite the tire disadvantage, and Billy Holcomb in the 23 now closes in on this battle. Elvin's gonna tag the wall. Blackcross fighting really hard on that inside. Favre holding off Billy, Elvin holding off Blackcross. Seven to go. This thing is heading down to the wire for these guys. One slip up and someone else could get themselves into the booth later tonight. And here comes True Death. Can he get himself into the top 5 with less than 6 laps to go? That clock's running out. It's ticking. Blackcross trying to throw everything at this 42 car. But that might have been a little too much as he finds himself into the wall. Favre fighting back. Here comes Billy. Here comes True Death in that 3. There's podium spots on the line. There's a chance to get yourself a top 5 on the stat sheet in the points. There's Showtime Flash. I don't know how many laps we have left. There's a top 5 spot up for grabs for True Death. He's closing in on this 23. Elvin looks like he's going to get second. He's pulling away from the 24. We got 2 laps to go. Should be getting the white flag this time. 1 more lap to go for Showtime Flash to claim win number 4 on the season. As we're keeping on the rest of these battles. Off the final turn, it is Showtime once again. Showtime Flash, win number 4 here in the Phantom Pro Series this season. And getting it under the lights here at Bristol. Elvin Priest second. Black Cross holds off Showtime Favre and claims the final spot on the podium. Third place belongs to the 24. The 77 will get 4th, and Billy Holcomb in this 23 is going to hold off True Death for the last spot in the top 5. True Death gets his best finish in this league. 3 starts in. Will be P6 for the Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet. Old Johnny Boy will get 7th, 19mm, back into the top 10 in 8th place for that 78 Ford. 9th goes to I Shoot, and Parley in the 5 will round out the top 10. Another result that 5 car was not looking for, as he finds himself a bit of a slump. He's looking to turn things around next week, hopefully. 9 cars finishing on the lead lap here tonight. Got everyone here. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Citron, if you ever get on one of these days, I mean, love to have you in the booth. Let's see, we got the fastest lap here. 15.34. Looks like Flash hits the fastest lap in this race. If you look at the leaderboard, bet half of them are probably wall ride laps. Some of our guys on there. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, Shady. It's gonna be a little tougher with it being Charlotte. But I look forward to it. Again, shout out to one of our sponsors, the North American Racing Series on YouTube. Shady commentates for them. Go check it out. I'm going to be racing in that tomorrow, going for 2 in a row. So if you want to tune into that, make sure to give them a little love. Subscribe to their channel and all that as we get our... Okay. I'm gonna go back to this later and see if they did. That would have been hilarious if true. But yeah, I think that'll be... So it's, of course, Flash 1, Elvin 2nd, I think Black Cross 3rd? Is he gonna be in the booth? Okay. And if not, if he doesn't come, I'm gonna get Farvin. But you know what, since might as well go ahead and get started here, and everyone make sure. Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our post-race coverage here on the Phantom Racing League YouTube channel is underway. And let's go ahead and start off with our 3rd place finisher, Black Cross. How are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good.
And it looked like early on, it seemed like you were kind of struggling a little bit. You were kind of slipping back stage 1. I don't know if there was like issues with the car or just moments around other people that were getting you back there, but it seemed like you were able to get that car dialed in the final stage right when it mattered and got yourself onto the podium. So just walk me through your race.
Like you said, in stage 1, I was falling back. Car was way too tight all race long until I finally got it a lot loose in the final stage and was able to hold on to the top 3. I'm happy to hang on to the top 3.
All right. And so what changes did you make to the car to make it rotate better?
I went down on the wedge and was able to up the tape just a little bit, not much, just a little bit up 2. The wedge went down a lot. It got loose, way loose, but I was able to hold on to it.
It seemed like it made a hell of a difference. You were giving Elvin a good fight there at the end. But
Yeah, I was trying to hang on side by side, but each time I got to the side, that's when the looseness got to it. I couldn't hang on.
all right, well, great comeback. Good finish for you, and good luck next week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, that is Black Cross, your third place finisher. Now we move on to P2, Elvin Priest. Don't do that. Just walk me through your night. I see. I know you were talking about your car earlier in practice. It seemed like you made quite a bit of changes to not just your car, but also the way you drove the track, which seemed to have helped you a lot. You were able to give Flash a good fight there late in the going. Just walk me through how your race went.
My race was it was crazy in the beginning of stage one, and screw all that professional stuff. Man, the stage one was dookie, dude. I was not rocking with it. I got a new room. I had a new setup. The setup was dookie. Not gonna lie. I don't know how I finished second, but it seems like that car. It wasn't good in traffic at all. It was a shitter. It was a shitter.
It was a shitter.
But yeah, it's a shitter, and I don't know, man. But once I got up there, the car, it loved that clean air. Well, kind of clean air, because somebody else was in front of me, you know. But, the car, came to life once I got in second place. And it just took off. And in my head, all I was saying is, like, I was going to be like, I'm following a Flash. And then I said, you know what? Screw that. He's going to steal my strategy. And so I pitted. When I said I was pitting, he said, oh, Elvin has a good idea, and said Elvin probably is the best strategist of all time. And he pitted the same time I did. Hard to believe that, huh? In the last stage. And,
yeah, I thought that was the entire top three pitted on the same lap. I was thinking there would be a little bit of
everyone
difference.
just decided to, just copied me. I think that's why Flash got that win today. So
yeah.
Congratulations to Flash. I'm very proud of him. He's like a son to me. And he's going to be happy next week at Road America.
Walk me through your battle late in the going. It seemed like you guys got really close, and you got in the wall there when he kind of squeezed you up a little bit. Like, it was getting pretty close now. This could be for both you guys. Were either of you thinking? I'm probably I'm playing up the drama here for the views. Did Pocono ever come into play here?
Honestly, I knew Flash. He put me in the wall good at Pocono. Good. And I was not having it. And it came into my head. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry to say this, Flash, but it came to my head.
Okay, I really don't know what to say with all the BS he's thrown out here right now.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Our regularly scheduled program. Our race winner once again is Showtime Flash. Brother, congratulations! I think that's your fourth of the season.
I appreciate it, Timmy. Yeah, Bristol has been really good to me lately. Just kind of really hit it on the setup back in the FRR season, and I ran the Ruthless Racing Series race there a couple months back, and was tuned it up a little bit, and had a flyer really going after it with Henson and Hollywood and those guys. But I mean, it was a great race. Barb's not up here to thank me for my setup, so I'll do it for him because
I'm right here, buddy. I'm here, here, buddy boy. So thanks for
Usually he's terrible about shouting me out.
God damn! Well, give it a minute.
Everyone thinks he's so good. Everyone thinks he's so good, but we all know who the setup builder is around here. I'm just playing. But I mean, the two of us had a really good start to stage one, and honestly, my pit stops were awful up until the very last one of the race, and I kept having to get by the 42. Did I think about hitting him? Absolutely.
Dirty driver.
But um, but I think the first time we were side by side like 10 laps, I think, um, which is pretty nuts. I was driving the hell out of that thing, trying to get around him, and the second time, we're getting somewhat down there at the end of the race, and I knew I had a car to break away from the field, and I'd rather not, stress about trying to build a gap late in the race. And I poked my nose out in front of him a little bit, and I tried to, take control of the seam there on exit, and we kind of got together just a little bit, but and I had to. He was gonna pinch me down. I had to try to pinch him up. So it was great racing though, and had a great run. It was a pretty clean race and competitive.
Threw the wheel right out of my hands.
Yeah, it was definitely looked like you were playing on easy mode. Your car was in Favre's as well. Both of you guys were lights out, class the field. And I'll get to Favre in a second to ask him what happened in stage 2, but seems like once he was out of the picture, it was pretty much you pretty much had it in the bag. And I knew heading into this race you were gonna have one of the fastest cars. I saw the car you had in the Ruthless race, considering I was also in that race, and we don't talk about that. But it was another masterful performance by you in this number 7 team, and congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, man. I thank you for stepping up and calling the race for us as well.
Absolutely. And let's get to probably the only other guy that might have had something for our race winner, and that is Showtime Flash's teammate, Showtime Favre. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir. What's up, Timmy?
I gotta ask you, what happened in stage 2?
I'm asking myself the same question. I have no clue.
Now,
Zero clue.
how many laps behind did you fall? Was it like 2 or
2.
3? 2.
2.
Okay. Now,
Um,
taking all of that into consideration, with so you Flash, it looked like he gave you your lap back at the end of the stage, like you were able to get by him towards the end. You were able to get one of them. So I'm assuming I don't know if you got the lucky dog for the final stage. I think you got it once you got the caution, when we got the caution in the final stage. And how much of a lucky break was that to get that lap back and get yourself in the top 5 after all of that and still come out of it with the top 5? That is a hell of a comeback.
yeah. Well, first of all, I would like to, what I was going to say first, thank Flash for his amazing car. We'll see if he gets a Road America setup for me next week.
I ain't racing. I don't need no damn setup.
So, no, I have zero clue what happened. The car just turned straight left. I mean, I'm thankful that I missed the field. Not really from my standpoint, because I could have used the caution, but it put me straight in the pit road. What I should have done is take no tires, but I took 4 tires and ended up somehow getting back into second with like 4 or 5 to go in stage 2, and I asked Flash, with the good guy that he is, if he could slow up and let me get my lap back. I was still, I'm pretty sure, the second or third car a lap down. So I ended up getting a lucky break, like you said, with that caution, and made my way back up through the field, and I got up to about 6th or 7th, and I couldn't do anything. So I told myself I was going to short pit as early as I could to try and get the track position. Yeah, frustrating, but hey, like you said, I'll take a top 5 after being 2 laps down any day.
Yeah, it was because I was wondering what happened. I watched your stream to get a idea what happened. It looked like, because you guys both run the 2-year setup, and Favre, it looked like your car just randomly popped into first, middle of the corner, and that sent your car
What?
downward. Yeah, you just look back on the stream, it went down to first gear. I was wondering if you accidentally downshifted, and I'm like, you didn't need
I
to. If you're
never
only
touched
running,
my shifter at
well,
You
you're
all.
gonna have.
tranny!
Uh-oh. Well, you're gonna have to look back on that, cause let me pull it up again. I could have sworn I
That's
saw
what
that
I
thing hit
thought happened
first.
too.
It was
Homeboy blue
so
tranny.
bizarre. Yeah, it was, yeah, I want to say, was it lap 3? Lap 4?
Yeah.
In stage 2? Yeah. Yo, yeah, that thing just, boom, right into first gear.
You got a T300?
Yeah.
Should have got a water jet.
Went first, then back up into second, and a miracle you didn't get caught speeding, too. That's another thing. Like, not just getting the caution that you need, you also didn't get caught speeding either.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because you went in there pretty quick. I was like, oh, dang, it's over. So something happened at 1-9. He had a similar, well, he was trying to avoid a wreck. I think he got ping-ponged into by a car in front of him. He got into the pits. He had a similar situation. I think he did get caught because he had a hard time coming back from it. So you weren't the only one to get an unwanted visit into the pits, per se. But
Well, thank you, Elvin, for always letting me run in Phantom. I always enjoy it, even though I'm shit, apparently. So then, Timmy, thank you very much for broadcasting. I've always wanted to run a race with you as our broadcaster, so I'm glad it finally got to happen.
I was surprised to learn that this was the first one. I was like, have I not? I know we've like been in the booth together, but I guess this is the first one. That surprised me. Which, come to think of it, I don't know, have we even raced each other in a league race before?
No.
Either? I don't think we've done that either.
No, sir.
I think that'll start next month.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's Powerhouse Favre's and Flash's new league coming up. That'll be starting soon, so be on the lookout for that. And I think that'll be it for tonight, gentlemen, unless anyone has anything else they want to put out there.
I got something else.
Okay.
No more
You better
barking.
hit that damn bell. Because if you don't hit that damn bell, I'm going to put you into first gear. See what I did there? Hit the subscribe button. I lost train of thought for a second. Hit the subscribe button, because if you don't, you know what's going to happen? Do you want to know what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen.
RKO.
That's probably the...
An RKO is going to happen, exactly.
And
You heard it here,
if
folks.
And if he doesn't know what's coming up, then, and I think we all should be scared. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us. Road America next week. 4-mile road course. I may or may not run that one. I don't know yet. We'll see. I said I was gonna be one and done after Sonoma, but I'm starting to get the itch to run another one. But before we do that, before we close out, I want to thank our sponsors once again. I did it earlier. Just to be sure. I didn't forget, and I'm not going to forget again. So we got MFF Motorsports and Chris's Auto and Towing. These guys have been here since the beginning. They continue for their support, so I want to thank them for that, as well as Everything NASCAR, who was in the chat earlier, always in the chat when we're live streaming, so shout out to him. Firelinks Racing Network, the Super Squad, Everything Stop Motion Network, FTR Racing League, MinaPeach.com, and the North American Racing Series, which races tomorrow at Charlotte. Shady Acres will bring you the coverage on that. I may or may not be in the field for that one. So,
Be in the booth. I don't know yet.
So tune in for that. And that'll be it. Again, next week, the Pro Series will be at Road America. Pro-Am will be racing Road America on Saturday at 9:10 Eastern Time. So mark your calendars for that. And that'll be it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I forgot how to close. I've done how many of these, and I forgot how to close them out. Alright. Peace out, guys.